Hey friends, welcome back to Rita Talks. I'm Rita, and on this YouTube channel, I just share some of the thoughts, ideas that I've been thinking about, some of the things that have been happening in my life. In today's video, I just want to talk about this quote that I encountered on social media. I saw it on one of, I think that's his name, Chris Williamson's. I don't know, I just saw it on Instagram. And basically, the quote is: "The magic you are looking for is in the work you are avoiding." And this quote resonated with me a lot because that's exactly sort of the topic that I've been thinking about lately and kind of the hurdles that I've been trying to overcome. Like, basically, whenever I have mental resistance towards doing a task, I just need to run right towards it. And that's basically over the long run, um, basically tackling these tasks that are, you know, that I'm putting off and all of this stuff. Um, like just tackling them head on is what will help me the most because they're usually basically my limiting factor. So the bottleneck that I'm facing. And so I just need to address them head on. So yeah, I actually just put it up on my wall. So like that's why I was here because I was reading it from my wall on a post-it note, just to remind myself when I'm working, like to keep, like to do the things that are uncomfortable but are necessary to be done, and just do basically whatever it takes, and like overcome these mental hurdles that I have over and over again. Um, yeah, I think today has been with lots of ups and downs. I think I was quite, I wouldn't say emotional, but like sensitive. Like I get sad sometimes. I think today was one of those days because I don't know. It's just life. It feels pretty lonely sometimes, and today I felt that. But it's okay. I then put on some good soul music that always puts me in a good mood, and I also like did a small journaling session on my notes app to basically just write down like what I think was holding me back and all of this stuff, and like basically try and take those thoughts out of my head and like put them on a sheet of paper where, well, I mean, not a sheet of paper, but basically on my phone, where I'm able to process them. And it felt really good to be able to write about those things that are going on in my life and like just maybe be a bit more honest with myself. It's like stuff that has always been at the back of my mind for a very long time. But I don't know, just because I grew up in a place where it's not like being sensitive is seen as basically being weak, but actually it's my sensitivity that's my biggest strength, because that means that I'm able to feel other people's emotions, and that's also like it has uh, a good side and a bad side. Is that I get super affected super quick by negative emotions because I have a high sensitivity, so like I pick up on those emotions super quick, and I don't want basically other people's negative emotions to rub off on me. But like it does inevitably. So like I think basically not watching the news, not like not having room for negative people in my life um, is a more effective way to keep out negativity from my life and just keep having um, like a hopeful, optimistic outlook on life. So that's one thing that I've been doing. I mean, whether consciously or unconsciously. I mean, I definitely put effort, like not put effort, but try to make it so that it's easy for me to do the stuff that I think is important, the stuff that's things I think are important for me to do, and basically just make it hard for me to do the other things that I don't want to do. So yeah, that's something that I've been thinking about, and like basically like just to go back to this idea of like being able to put my deepest feelings on my phone is not something that I've always felt comfortable doing, just because of the fear of other people maybe reading my phone. I mean, when you come from a country, from the country where I come from, um, there are very little like boundaries between family members, and so like I don't know, I was afraid that my family would read, like stumble upon these thoughts that are crossing my mind and judge me and like make fun of me and all of this stuff. So I just like avoided journaling for a very long time, just because it didn't feel safe enough for me to journal and like write about my like what I'm truly thinking. So I had to keep it up in my brain. Um, and now I'm getting a bit more comfortable with being able to put those thoughts both on here and on my phone. I mean, probably my phone is the place where I just like in my notes app where I just really share the like in some sense the juiciest stuff, um like the true emotions. Like I'm working, I mean I still don't feel comfortable enough putting everything here on this channel, because it's just I don't know, there's this fear. I mean I'm working my way towards that. Hopefully at some point I will be able to share some of those thoughts in a basically more transparent way, but like just at this point I don't feel comfortable talking about that on this channel. I do touch on a lot of the topics here, but there are also a lot of topics that I don't talk about here, that still exist in my life and that are not always appropriate to share on a platform like this one. So yeah, maybe in the future I will, but for now I just don't feel comfortable sharing those aspects of my life on a like on a more public in a more public way. I mean the truth is no one is watching these videos for now, so it might be okay to do, but there is always this what if thing, and like basically once you put stuff out on the internet it's kind of hard to take it back, and I really can't predict how like who will watch these videos and all of this stuff. So like some things I'm not comfortable sharing yet, and that's completely okay. Like point of this is just to try maybe to I think one of the reasons that it's not I don't feel comfortable sharing those things yet is because I haven't fully processed them myself. And so maybe in in a few years where I have more perspective, more where I'm just basically wiser, hopefully, I'll be able to talk about those things. But for now, they will just live on my notes app. And sometimes, it's like even on my notes app, I'm thinking something, and it's like, should I even put that there? Like that feels risky, right now I live on my own and all of this stuff, but I still feel like I cannot put my full thoughts on my notes app and all of this stuff, just because of the fear that someone might ever stumble on these notes. And yeah, it's okay. I'm learning to basically gain more trust as I live more and more on my own. It's like I'm gaining more trust in that regards. So I'm getting more comfortable sharing some of the things that I'm truly thinking, and just being honest with myself. But also sometimes, you know, it's like when you're thinking something and you think, okay, if I verbalize it, it makes it more real. And that's also something that I'm afraid of, is that when you talk about something, like when you think it, it's not real. It's like just a thought. But when you write about it, it somehow makes it more real, and that's maybe also what I'm afraid of. So you know, it's not like there are multiple reasons behind like this fear of writing down stuff somewhere, because it just leaves you vulnerable to maybe other people seeing that, whereas if it's still in your head, then you know for sure that no one will see that, but actually those things you have not fully processed, and so you cannot just keep them in your head. You just have to find a way to get them out of your system if you need to process them and move on. So I'm learning to be more comfortable with writing those thoughts. Maybe I'll get comfortable enough to start sharing those thoughts here. And I do share quite a lot here. To be honest, I try to, not name the characters in my life explicitly, just out of respect for them. But if you know my life, and if you know me personally, then probably some of the characters would make sense to you. I mean, depending on which context you know me from. But yeah, like the hope is that no one who actually knows me is watching these videos. So yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's just a reflection that I've been having today. And just talking about this is really helpful, because I do feel like sometimes I'm not being completely transparent, but it's also mostly because I'm not comfortable talking about those things. And that's okay. Like, I'm trying to be more transparent and like more honest with myself on this channel, where I can just share my human experience with no filters. Hopefully I will get to that point, but in the meantime I'm sharing as much as I possibly can. And also like basically this reflection on this is a good one to have, because it's a good step forward, like just acknowledging that this is true and that this is something that I'm dealing with is somewhat helpful, and will hopefully put me towards a path where I get more comfortable sharing like those more, let's say, sensitive aspects of my life. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of an interesting topic to talk about. It's one that I've been thinking about a lot, and it does help to just kind of verbalize it and like process it through talking and writing and all of this stuff. So yeah, that's I think that's all I wanted to talk about for today. I do need to go to sleep because it's 1:12 a.m. and I have to wake up tomorrow at like 7 a.m. because tomorrow we're gonna have this we're calling it deliver results day in our team, and basically we're just gonna go over the projects, the basically like our system, the system that we work on, like basically try to see like to close some understanding gaps, because basically the system that we work on is such a huge system that not one person like in our team understands everything, maybe except our TPM, because he works on all of he works on driving all of the projects. But other than him, like not many people actually know about all of this stuff. We all work in our own specific areas, and to be honest, I've touched quite a few of the areas in the team over the past 3 years that I've been 3 years, not even 3 years. It's been 2 years. Come on, 3 years is in May, so two and something years that I've been in this team, and I'm starting, to somewhat see the big picture. I mean, I'm starting. I have been seeing the big picture. I think, I think over the past year, it has been so much easier for me to work in this team, just because of the context that I've acquired over the past, I don't know, the year ahead of that. And so it's been getting easier for me to work in this team just because I have more context and I have better understanding of the whole system and what we're actually trying to do. And basically, I'm just getting industry experience, whereas before I didn't really have any industry experience, and that's completely normal. So yeah, it's kind of cool to start to see this come together, like my knowledge getting better over time, and actually being able to leverage it to, impact the project and add my little grain of salt. No, how do you call that? Add my little touch on add my little seasoning on our projects, and it's quite fun to be able to do that. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. We're gonna go over our projects, our deliverables, expectations on basically our work, and uh, like what are the measures of success of a project, because we have a wide range of projects, and you're not obviously delivering the same thing. So I think it will be cool, and I'm also hosting I think a 1 hour and a half session in the morning, precisely for this, just to for this explanation part, and tie the knots together of the whole system, and basically go through it step by step for the whole team. So that's one thing. The next thing would be, I have a session in the afternoon, and then I have another meeting during the day where I will just be basically working with some of our stakeholders, just because there's this task that I need to work on, and it's basically this meeting with the stakeholders has been delayed by 1 week, and so I'm not able to make progress on that task until I have that meeting. So I scheduled it tomorrow so that I can make progress on this task on Wednesday. So that's one thing. The next one is that in the evening I will have a class with a student that's working on machine learning stuff, and actually her level is pretty advanced. So it's kind of cool to be working with someone whose level is very advanced and basically assisting them, just being a thought partner. It's also, I think, gonna be a challenge because when you're that good, you have high expectations, and so I'm just gonna need to prepare before that class, so that I can help the student as best as I can. And yeah, it's cool to see interesting projects being done, and yeah, it's super cool to do that. So yeah, very very full day ahead tomorrow. I will need lots of coffee and caffeine overall, but I think it will be fun. And yeah, that's mostly it. Thanks a lot for tuning in today. You can click here to watch my previous video on this channel, so the one right before this one, and you can click here to watch my latest video on the channel overall. I hope you have a fantastic rest of day, night, whichever time of day it is where you are right now. For now, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye!